Jack Squad, what's going on, everybody? How everybody doing on this hump day, right? Don't forget to make it happen for yourself, which is what I did. Y'all know my equipment was messed up, and I couldn't change the angle and all of that stuff. Well, I figured it out. Figured it out because I was determined to, and I made it happen for myself, right? Just me. So I had to make it happen for myself, right? So anyway, y'all, all of my social media stuff is down in the description box, as well as my email and my Cash App. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me just get to it, because today is a work day, y'all. I'm tired, but I had to talk about this because it was horrible, right? It was frightening. First of all, let me just say this. My sincere condolences to the families of the the two people that died. The two people that died in Mexico, my condolences to them and their families, right? My prayers are with the remaining two who are going to be traumatized forever behind whatever they saw and whatever happened to them, right? Now, let me just say this. We ain't got no business in Mexico. Y'all don't know that by now. We have no business in Mexico. None. Don't go for no reason. Not even to the resort. A lot of people say, well, I'll go to the resort. I ain't going nowhere over there. I don't want to. I ain't never been interested in it. And, the cartel is there. They're killing. Listen, when I saw the video of them dragging the bodies onto the truck, people were driving by. Didn't nobody call 911? Didn't nobody say, hey, what's going on? What y'all doing? They know not to. They mind their own business, right? So why would you go to a country where ain't nobody gonna help you? Ain't nobody gonna even give you directions, right? Because what I read is that they were lost. So to me, in my mind, this was not a well thought out plan. Okay? These individuals were from South Carolina, and they decided to drive to Mexico. Now, I know that to me that sounded crazy. You're gonna drive to Mexico. It is possible, you can do it. It's something you can do. But why drive to Mexico? The young lady said she was going to get a BBL. Now, when you get a BBL, it's a lot of pain. I have had two people close to me to do it. It's painful. I don't know how she thought she was going to drive those many hours from South Carolina to Mexico. Let's see how many hours that is. Mexico, let's see. South Carolina to Matamoros, Mexico. Okay, let's see what the people say. Child. It's 20 hours and 36 minutes. Now, that ain't even specific. I don't know specifically where they lived in South Carolina, but Matamoros is where they was going. 20 hours. So it might be 21 hours. Might be 19 hours. It's a whole day. Because you got to stop, use the bathroom, get gas. And I hate to make light of this because somebody died. Somebody died and they were traumatized. As I was reading, they were taking it once first of all, they opened fire on them without no questions asked. They opened fire on them, right? This is according to CNN. They opened fire on them because they thought they were Haitian drug smugglers. So they're dark-skinned folks. They was black folks. And they thought it was automatically Haitian. See what I'm saying about us, our color? Ain't nobody asking no questions. That's the same thing they do here in the States. They're not asking what we doing. Nothing. No questions. We just gonna shoot y'all first. Right? So they opened fire on them. That's the element of surprise right there. They were wandering around because they were lost. It was a language barrier. They had tried to call the doctor's office. It was a language barrier. So again, that was not a well thought out plan because you were supposed to have the directions. They said they had a poor signal with the GPS. If you going to a different country, this is how my mind works. If I'm going to a different country and I'm going to be driving my car, I'm going to write down the directions. I'm going to get somebody, if you got to go to Rosetta Stone, you're going to have to get your Mexican neighbor down the street. I'm going to have the instructions wrote down because 9 times out of 10, the GPS is not going to work. Who's to say we got towers over there? Nobody didn't think about any of that, right? I'm still tripping on the 20 hours that y'all, when I heard that they drove to Mexico. And then, after you have a BBL, and so I was wondering, I was like, well, why are so many people in the car? You don't do that. Like, I'm from Cleveland. You don't ride 4 people in the car. Just don't do that. Especially men. There was 3 men and a woman. They might not have could see that she was a woman. 4 men don't drive in a car together. That's that's where I come from. 4 men is not in the car together. Right? Because the streets may look at you funny, and the police definitely gonna look at you funny, right? 4 men don't drive in a car together unless the windows are black, they're tinted, nobody can see inside, right? But when you get a BBL, you have to lay on your stomach. You need your pillows. It's very painful. So there's no way she thought she could ride 20 hours in a car with a BBL. All that drainage. You know, it's a lot of care when you get a BBL. And then they don't just suck the fat out and patch you up and send you home. There's a lot of drainage. There's drains connected to you. In case y'all didn't know, to collect the blood and the us that's coming out of your body, right? You have to change your bandages often. She didn't think about that. Now, because I know these things, when I initially heard it, and I am not making light of this at all, but I'm just being reasonable because I'm very analytical and very logical. My brain is, right? I thought that it was possibly another situation going on. You know, now I'm trying to figure out who was the smart one. I was told that the guy, one of the guys that passed, didn't think it was a good idea, but he going because he going. That's your family, that's your peoples, and you're gonna go, right? My family knows I ain't doing nothing that's gonna possibly get me sent to jail or harm me. I'm not doing it. My kids know that. I'm not doing it. Don't ask me. Don't keep asking me. I'm not doing it, right? And if somebody else told me, I don't know how true this is because I didn't read it, that she had a BBL before. Now, she most definitely didn't look like she'd had a BBL before. If she did, she said she was familiar with Mexico, she'd been there before. So now, you didn't look like you had a BBL. Now, because someone died, I'm not going to make jokey jokes, but she didn't look like she'd had a BBL before. If you did, it was a botched job, and you shouldn't have no business going back to get another one, right? And so they were held captive. They were fired upon. They were held captive. They switched them from house to house to house. Now the other guy that came back with her that didn't die, he was shot twice in one leg and once in the other. I don't know how he walked, how he made it. Where did they find him? I don't have those details. I was reading up, on CNN and people.com trying to figure out how did they catch him? How did they see him? How did they find him? Right? They do have somebody in custody, Jose. They're not sure how he fits into it. And amongst all this shooting, a woman was shot. I want to say it was a woman, was killed behind that. She caught a stray. She was a block away. Right? Now, I don't know if I could live in Mexico because the cartel is heavy and big down there. And they're scary. And the police can't do anything about the cartel, so it's not safe. It's not safe for the Mexicans that live there, right? It's a sad thing. I feel really awful. I just wouldn't go to Mexico. I've said that a couple years ago. Because isn't Mexico where people was getting sick off something they was drinking or something like that? Like, don't go there. Just don't go. And now, also, speaking of Mexico, I found that the girl, Shanquilla Robinson, I think that's her last name, the authorities are giving the power over to the states to convict, as they should, because I don't think they care. That's my opinion. I just don't think they care. And because they're Americans, they want the Americans to do the prosecuting. And I hope that they do. I hope that they do, and I hope they all go to jail for the rest of their life. Because this girl took them on a trip, and she was your friend. She thought she was friends to you all, and you all just thought it was a good idea to fight her and not help, and all that stupidness and recorded. Like, I hope they go to jail, all of them. Everyone that was in the room. The girl that did the fighting, the guy that did the recording, or whoever did the recording, and the people that didn't break it up. And didn't report it later when she was still in this dead, right? I want all of them to go to penitentiary for the rest of their life. But back to the situation at hand. So they say that the Mexican state and the federal Mexican government, so I guess police agencies, work together to find them. Okay, so they did do that. And the United States didn't go over it. Didn't have nothing to do with that. I did read that in CNN. So let this be a cautionary tale. Don't fool around over there in Mexico under no circumstance. You want to go to a resort? There's plenty nice resorts. Go to Florida. Go anywhere. Don't go to Mexico. Don't go to Mexico. Do not go to Mexico. They don't want you there. And if they do want you there, it's too dangerous to be there. Why would you go somewhere where the cartel's shooting at will? Listen, when I seen the video, and I know y'all have seen it as well, cars were just riding by as they was putting bodies onto the back of a truck. What? Listen, y'all. Don't go to Mexico, okay? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, my condolences to the family members of the two individuals that died, the two gentlemen that died in Mexico. And we're going to pray for the remaining victims that were found, because they're going to be traumatized. No telling what all they did to them people, right? They're going to be traumatized. They're going to need some counseling and some prayer, and their families to love on them, okay? So don't go to Mexico, y'all, all right? Again, thank you for my birthday wishes that I continue to receive after my birthday. I'm so very, very grateful to you all, because you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to watch me. You don't have to do anything. And I appreciate it. Trust me, I appreciate it, okay? I'm trying to work something out so I don't have to work, so I can talk to you guys more, right? That's in the making. That's going to happen. I'm going to step out on faith in about 90 days or less. Anyway, guys, I'm going to upload my, I had did it, but I was tired, right? And then my devices was all in a hullabaloo, right? So I'm going to upload about my thoughts on love after lockup and Jaguar Wright fiasco, debacle situation, okay? Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching Jackie with a Q, and everybody be cool.